back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys, so I'm here today to do a quick video talking about some books that I bought for my child who is about to turn 1.5 at Christmas time. I went on a honeymoon to Edinburgh. I've done a few videos talking about that. And I went to lots of independent bookshops and lots of them had an incredible kids section. So we picked up quite a few kids books for him whilst we were on our honeymoon and then gave them to him at Christmas, which he was delighted with. And he now has his own bookcase in his room because he's got so many books. He also has the lower shelf of my bookcase, which is here because he has so many books, which I'm not upset about. He loves books and I'm so pleased he loves books. It's great. Let's get into what we bought him and I'll tell you a little bit about which ones he's really enjoying and which ones he's maybe not enjoyed as much or will hopefully come round to as we go. We'll see. Before we actually went to Edinburgh, we did a stopover in Lake Windermere and we went to Bowness and we went to the Beatrix Potter kind of world, which is there. And we picked up this collection of little books from Beatrix Potter, Peter Rabbit world. Highly recommend going there. Completely surprised by how high the production value was. It's one of those places where you kind of go in and you think maybe it's going to be a bit sad and old, but actually it was really beautifully put together. And if you're a fan of Beatrix Potter, or even if you're not, because my husband had never really read many of their books, but I did as a child, it's worth doing. And we picked this up because my son is obsessed with books that are small. I don't know if it's because he has small hands, because he's only 1.5, but he loves them. He loves small books. So this is just a collection of 9 small books, and it's like the really abbreviated version of each of the stories. He would probably listen to the whole story at the moment. He's old enough to get reading stories and he loves it. But I think these ones he loves because they're picture-based and he can turn the pages. There's no worry about him ripping them because they're board books. It's not really a big issue. So yeah, he loves these. The next one we picked up, I think in Blackwell's. This is Be Brave Little Penguin by Giles Andre and Guy Parker Rees. This is just a really cute story about a little penguin who is scared of going into the water. It's a rhyming book. We tend to still buy rhyming books for the most part for him because he does tend to like the rhythm and he likes joining in with stuff when he knows it a bit more. He doesn't love this one as much as I'd like him to yet. I think he's going to really enjoy it in a couple of months when he's getting that little bit older and understanding the concepts of like overcoming your fears a bit more. I like it. I think it's a really cute book. I think it's a really lovely one with a great sentiment, but he's not 100% convinced on this. He sits through about half of it at the moment. A book that we picked up in a bookshop that really celebrated queerness was this one, My Daddies. And this one, obviously, my son doesn't have 2 daddies. He has a mum and a dad. We do have friends who are gay and we want him to understand that that's normal. So this is a book which we picked up because we just thought it would be a great story and he loves it. He absolutely loves it. He understands that he doesn't have 2 dads, but he also gets that other people do. And this is a lovely, again, rhyming story, beautifully put together actually. Really nice illustrations. And it's just about these 2 dads and what they do for their child who was adopted. So in this circumstance, it was an adopted child. Talks a little bit about it, but it doesn't really go into details. It just talks about how great it is to have 2 dads. And I love that. And Jamie, my son, also loves that. Next up is another book which, again, he's a little bit young for this one at the moment. I think it's a great story. It's called The Pirates Next Door, starring the Jolly Rogers by Johnny Duddle. Beautifully put together, very lovely illustrations. But again, it is rhyming, but it's got quite a lot of words and it's quite, not thinky, but like there's a lot going on across the pages. So it's not necessarily the easiest read for a young child to listen to. I think, again, when he gets to about 2, he's going to love this. At the moment, he sits through a couple of the pages and then he's like, I'd want something else, Mum. So I love it, But again, he's a little bit young for that one at the moment. Now, one that he does love and one that we got in Type Wronger in Edinburgh when we were on our honeymoon is Monster Hungry Phone. This is a relatively new release. I think it came out in the last year or so. And this is just about a monster who's hungry and he's trying to get some food, but he keeps dialing the wrong people. So he ends up on a phone call to a jaguar in Nicaragua, and then he ends up calling Amanda the panda, who's playing ping pong with a salamander and does not want to be disturbed. It is silly. It's really silly, in fact, but it's a good laugh, and my child is obsessed. He loves it. Every night he wants to read Monster. This is definitely one of his favourite books at the moment, so it is perfect for that sort of 1.5-year-old. And they have released a second one. Now, I don't think this one is as strong as Monster Hungry Phone. Monster Thirsty Drink. It's a good concept. It's not as strong as the first, in my view, for humour, but it does have its moments. I do like both of them. The child also likes both of them, but I do think that I would rate Monster Hungry Phone higher than Monster Thirsty Drink. So if you're going to get one of them, go for that one. If you want to get both, they're good laughs. Next up, we have one that he does sit through sometimes. It's like 50-50. He likes it though, because he knows, well, he knows a lot of animal sounds. So if you say fish, he'll just sit there and go, which is really cute. But he likes fish. So he does enjoy this one. It's a beautifully illustrated one. The River by Hanaku Klulau, maybe. As you can see, it's about the journey of a fish through the streams up in the mountains, all the way down to the canals and rivers, and then on to the kind of mouth of the sea, and then eventually they end up at the sea, and what they do there. So it's a lovely story about the fish going on their adventure down the river, and again, beautifully illustrated. This one I picked up largely because it was rhyming and beautifully illustrated. It obviously teaches them about the journey of a fish, but realistically, the illustrations are what drew me in here. I love them. This one I also think is a beautiful one. I think we got this in the same shop as where we got My Daddy's, and I think it's a fantastic kind of example of how different families are and what different families do in their houses. And it's all about joy and fun. It's about different rooms in the house and what you get up to in each of the rooms. So in this room, we bake, but we never just bake. We sing into spoons and get covered in cake. We dance in our aprons and taste what we make, and we work as a team when we're learning to bake. And it's just going through all the different rooms in the houses with what they do there. It talks about feelings and emotions, and at the end there is a sort of pop-out page of like everyone on the street. So it's a lovely one. Highly recommend. He does sit through this. He does enjoy this one. Perfect for this kind of age, and he really likes kind of understanding all the different objects in the rooms. He likes picking things out and spotting things, so it's good because it's got lots of little bits that they can kind of find on the page. This one is another one that I think we got in Type Wronger, maybe. It's called Free Range Freddy. It's about a chicken who is born called Freddy, a chick rather, and he is just his own kind of chick. He does his own thing. Again, it's rhyming. It's a little bit psychedelic-y. It's like weird illustration style. I don't love the illustration style personally, but I do love the kind of concept of Freddy just being his own little bird and everyone loving him for being different. So that's kind of the concept. And again, this is one that he will sit through, but not all the time, kind of 50-50. It did win some sort of prize at some point. I do think it has a good message though. Next up, we have this one, which I think is a little bit old for him at the moment. He doesn't always sit through this one. And it's the last one I'm going to show you. It's called We Are the Shapes by Kevin Jenner. It's about shapes. He's very into shapes at the moment, but he doesn't know all of them yet. Square, he doesn't really understand yet. Triangle, he doesn't really understand yet, but he is getting into circles. And circle comes in a bit later. I do think this is a little conceptual for him at the moment because it's talking about how the shapes can all work together to create something new. But he does like spotting the shapes. He does like spotting the things on the page, and he is learning the shapes at the moment. So it's helpful in that regard. We haven't read this one that much yet though. He doesn't sort of choose this one off the shelf yet. So maybe again, this one's for a little bit older than 1.5, but I think it's got some good ideas in here. And this one I think we just got in Waterstones. So that is everything. Let me know if you have any recommendations for a 1.5-year-old. please let me know. Otherwise, I'd love to hear what you guys read with your kids, or what is your favourite picture book. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will chat to you in another video soon. Bye all!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.